You said this place couldn't break you. That's what she said. Let's see.
You're so strong. You're so strong. Just no. I know. It's all just a dream.
What if all this was designed just to see how we react?
What if this place is trying to torture me?
What if the people these monsters are killing, what if they're all in on it? What if this is all some kind of fucked up experiment?
What if the answers are out there? Maybe we just didn't go out far enough.
What if the answers are out there indeed? And I guess we will also find out, will that indeed be breaking Boyd? Whatever is happening in that barn, is it going to break Boyd? And I guess that's all depends on who exactly is in the barn with Boyd, for starters. But that is going to be an interesting thing to see, and I know we will be diving into that and many other things tonight. Man, it just doesn't just feel great to be talking from again, and actually talking from based on, even though it's only 30 seconds of new footage, something actually new for a change. It just feels great to kind of dive back into this rabbit hole, as it were, full force. I don't know if you guys are enjoying it. Hell, I know you guys are enjoying it probably.
Yes. I think I've watched not just the trailer a million times, but in slow-mo a million times. I've slow-moed it down as much as possible, just to see what's up with it. Because, there's some little things there that if you slow it down, you can see that maybe you didn't see before. That's how you really see the claw marks and stuff like that. I think we can even catch some daylight, possibly either dawn or dusk, in the little, between the wood in the barn.
Yup.
So things there, you slow it down a little bit and they're telling what you might see.
You end up
30
seeing a little bit
seconds.
more, right?
30
when you start
seconds.
slowing it down.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, go ahead, Dana.
No, I was just going to say 30 seconds and we got so much.
I know, yeah. So little, but so much to dissect all at the same time. And again, I know we've been saying it all week, but I feel like if they were going to throw just 30 seconds at us, this was the perfect freaking 30 seconds to throw at us. It gives us the perfect amount of mystery, intrigue, wondering what the heck's going on. It was a good 30 seconds to choose. That's for sure. But yeah, I'm loving it. It's so awesome to be diving back into From again with everybody. And, it's only going to go up from here, ladies and gentlemen. If this 30 seconds was this good, I can only imagine what the full kind of 2-minute trailer that we'll probably be getting next is going to be like, which hopefully will be coming in the next few weeks or month or so, maybe.
Yes, I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so. It was nice that they released this. I feel like especially with the extended hiatus, with the writers and actors strike putting From season 3 well past its original air date, or what it would have been. From fans were kind of, we needed this. We needed a little breath of fresh air, a little something to breathe some new life into the fandom, as it were. Because there's only so many season 3 predictions you can talk about until you get some new footage. And this was the perfect kind of footage to throw at us. So, yeah, I can't wait to see the full 2-minute trailer, though. That is going to be absolutely bananas. It is going to be bananas. But we're going to dive into it tonight and everything else From that you guys want to talk about. And we have some interesting developments that I'm sure you guys, if you guys are in the Discord, you probably already know this. The Discord's been talking about it a lot over the last few days and weeks since the trailers dropped. Finding all of these other hidden clues that maybe we didn't catch in the trailer the first go around. And like you said, Scarlett, that's what really watching these trailers time and time again is great. But until you watch them on slow motion and really kind of just slow it down and analyze every frame, that is when you really start to pick up things that you may have missed, the first go around, like the professor monster kind of changing, in the trailer, which you can't really see at full speed. But when you slow it down, it becomes a little more recognizable.
I know, that threw me off too. When you see it, it's like, oh my God, how did you not see it before?
Exactly.
And then don't forget, we got
But yeah, we're
Footgate.
gonna dive
We
into
got
that and
Footgate.
everything else. We do have Footgate. Footgate has been in full swing for a while. There's been some great theories going around as to what is going on with Footgate, which has been hilarious. Everything from Tien Chen to Larry's from House of the Dragon. It's been fun. It has been fun.
Yeah, I like the chin one because I mean it could be that'd be devastating if that
Oh
was
my
Kenny's
God, when
mom.
people said it might be Christy, we broke my mother. My mother was
Ooh.
just like, don't you dare say that. Don't you dare say that. It's Christy because she's her favorite. And my mom was literally walking around just yelling at me, don't you dare tell them it's not Christy. It's not her. So
Yeah.
people, we broke my mom.
Oh man, I am sorry. Hopefully we can make up for it. I think Christy. I don't think it is Christy personally. I don't think Christy is in the car. So if that
No.
makes your mother feel any better, I know it's just little old me, but I don't think it's Christy. I think Christy is safe for a little while anyway. I mean, she's not safe from getting another butchered haircut from Mari,
That's what
Oh
the
my
but
scream
God.
was, right? I love it. Raver
Oh,
said that, or somebody in the chat said that before. I don't know if that was so funny last week.
yeah, yes. Someone, I believe, Doc Hayes left a hilarious comment in one of the comment sections for one of our videos, where at the end of one of my trailer breakdown videos, I asked what you guys thought was happening in the barn scene, and he responded. I'm pretty sure it was Doc Hayes. He responded, Boyd's freaking out like that because he's being forced to watch Mari give another bad haircut.
Whoever did it was good. That was awesome.
That was good. That was a good one. Good stuff. And speaking of the awesome chat, let's see who we have joining us this evening on this fine Sunday evening. I know Monday is right around the corner. The week is getting ready to start. But at least for the next few hours, you can still kick up your feet, relax, and hang out knowing that Sunday is still here. It's still the weekend, technically. Monday has not reared its ugly head yet. And Don Vito was asking this, and if anyone else is ever wondering this in the future as well, if we ever do a live stream, and maybe you don't get to catch the whole thing live, and you're looking for it to catch the replay later, if it's ever not listed on our channel under the live streams tab, you can always go to our playlists under From Live Streams and find every From live stream in that playlist, and we always have the newest right at the top. Every once in a while, I have to unlist or private a stream every once in a while if they get copyright claimed, or if they get kind of censored due to kind of. Every once in a while, these From streams can get censored due to the graphic imagery that we show every once in a while with the mangled bodies and severed heads and stuff like that. That stuff can get flagged, and it can flag a stream every once in a while. So when that stuff does happen, if I ever do have to unlist a stream, you can always find it in our From Live Streams playlist if you just go to our playlist tab on the main YouTube page. You can find every From live stream there, even dating all the way back to Season 1 and Season 2 live streams that we've done. They're all in there. Let's see who else we got. We got Carrie in the building. What is up, Carrie? Sending love. Well, we are sending love right back to all of you in the chat. Sending love right back. We got Kiwi Skirt. What is up, Kiwi Skirt? Still working, but I'm here. Hey, all. Well, hello to you as well, Kiwi Skirt. Hopefully you are having a good day at work, and hopefully you are enjoyed your weekend as well. We got Bitey in the house. What is up, Bitey? Good to see you, my friend. Welcome. Does anyone know when Season 3 will be out? We don't have an exact date as of yet, but we do have a release window. From Season 3 will be airing in the fall. And I have a feeling we will probably most likely be getting it anywhere from mid to late September to early October, around there. Again, like I've said in the past, I get the feeling they probably want From Season 3 to be airing when Halloween comes around. And if they want that to happen, they would probably air it, like I said, mid-September, late September, early October, around there is probably when we will be getting it. But we are getting it in the fall. So it's coming. It is coming, ladies and gentlemen, From Season 3, which is good timing for at least for us, in terms of some of the other shows that we cover here on the channel. House of the Dragon season 2 is just 42 days away. Now we have House of the Dragon right around the corner, guys. And anyone who hasn't seen House of the Dragon, definitely get out there and catch up on season 1 before season 2 comes around. But it's almost kind of lines up really good because we have House of the Dragon starting pretty soon, and as soon as House of the Dragon ends, From season 3 will be starting a few weeks right after that. So we have one right after the other. So it really, timing wise, it lines up.
I still hold for the August. I don't know why. I still want to hold out for the August. I know that kind of pushes it into House of the Dragons, but I'm ready, man. I want my From back.
I know. I'm so ready too. I'm ready.
All of our shows, just give it all at one time.
Well, that was one thing I was a little bit worried about. I mean, just from the YouTubing standpoint side of things, it would have been an absolute nightmare trying to cover House of the Dragon and covering From season 3 all at the same time. I probably wouldn't have been getting any sleep at all. Hell, I already rarely get any sleep when I'm covering one show. So, part of me is glad that we're getting one after the other and we're not getting them both right at the same time. The fan part of me obviously would love to get them both at the same time, but the YouTube side of me is appreciating the one after the other, so it's not so hectic, because that would be hectic.
Yeah, no, it would be a lot of work for you. This is a fan in me.
It would be a lot of work. Yeah. That's why I generally try to stick to covering one show at a time, usually. I mean, we'll do separate streams on other shows while we're covering a main show, but I try to cover one main show at a time. Like Shogun was just recently covered very extensively here on the channel, had a blast doing that. Now we're transitioning into House of the Dragon season 2, and then boom, From season 3 right after that. So it's just easier from the YouTube standpoint, especially now that I'm going back to work in my real daytime job, which is running a construction company. So it's only have so much time, I guess. But the time I do have, I love spending here talking all things From, which we are going to do. We got Bill D in the house. What is up, Bill D? Good to see you, my friend. We got Lord Ravener in the house. What is up, Ravener? Always good to see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome. We got Michael DJ in the house. Hello, ladies. Hello, Michael DJ. Michael DJ saying hello to all of the ladies. And we know how much he fancies Sarah. I think we got a ladies' man on our hands. Watch out for Michael DJ. We got From Fanatic in the building. What is up, From Fanatic? Good to see you as well. Welcome, welcome. We got Buddha Cafe in the house. What is up, Buddha? Good old Buddha Cafe. We got Dr. Deb in the building as well. What is up, Dr. Deb? Welcome, welcome. And welcome one, welcome all to everybody joining us this evening. We appreciate you taking some time out of your Sunday night to hang out with us for a little bit. Good stuff. We got Wolfspear. What is up, Wolfspear? Good to see
you. Hello, Jeremy. I don't know if we can't hear you.
Counted for to dive into From.
Yep. All right. Yep. We lost Jeremy, guys. Oh, wait, he's back.
Come back to us.
He's coming. I promise he will be right back.
Yeah, I'll be right back. It's one of those nights. It's one of those internet nights over here in New England. It's bad. We get some bad weather, unfortunately. Some really high wind.
I was telling Scarlett that before. We were getting it here.
It sucks. I mean, I just want summer to freaking come around already. It's just like we get a few, like 2 or 3 days clustered together where we'll get some really decent weather. And then boom, it goes right back to freaking freezing cold. It's like, just get here already, summer. Give me a break.
Yes. I want to plant my tomatoes already. I want to plant my tomatoes.
I want to plant many things is what I want to do. So yeah.
Don't worry. I got that too. Don't worry about that. I got that covered.
Almost planting season in these parts. So yeah, come on, good weather. Let's go. We don't want to have a Fromville winter all year up here. That's for sure. As much as I do appreciate winter. As much as I appreciate it. We got Henry Bemis in the house. What is up, Henry Bemis? Good to see you as well, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I see Snug down there as well. What is up, Snug? Always good to see you, my friend. Welcome. I see Awesome One. What is up, Awesome One? Floam. Hashtag Floam. Hashtag Yeah, maybe these are spin-offs, Awesome One. You could be onto something, man. Who knows? That's some spin-offs. From, where, when, why, how. Let's make these shows as difficult as possible to search for when we're looking for them. Let's do that. We got Checkpoint in the house. What is up, Checkpoint? Good to see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome. Let's see what else we got. Scrolling down, I see Terry in the house. What is up, Terry? Always good to see you hanging out with us this evening. We got Mr. Bojangles. What is up, Mr. Bojangles? Good to see you as well. Welcome, everybody. So glad to see the awesome Fromily members here hanging out in the chat. We got Mr. Von Stugel. Danny doth commandeth you end the stream. Uh-oh. Well, if Danny said it, we have to make sure we don't listen in that case. We got to make sure we don't listen.
Shall not win.
Yeah.
Not in the stream. No, we will not let you.
No, that's something. If Danny wants us to end the stream, then we might have to make it a 24-hour stream just to defy Danny and his evil ways. But yeah, here we go. Let's dive into this. Now, of course, we've been looking at a lot of this for a while, and I know a lot of the conversations has been pretty interesting to diving into this and seeing what exactly could be happening in this trailer. But we have some recent stuff that you guys in the Discord have been talking about a lot, which has been pretty interesting in terms of the claw marks on Boyd's arm, which we did notice fairly early on. But we were wondering, okay, which monster scratched Boyd? It had to be one of these four in here. I mean, we know there are 4 monsters present in the barn with Boyd, in terms of the cowboy monster, the professor monster, the mechanic monster, and I know you can't see her too well, but the nurse monster is back there as well. The good old creepy Nurse Ratched. There she is, guys. The nurse is making a return. And in terms of creepy monsters that we've seen on the show, she's got one of those smiley, distinct features. And I love how when they put out casting calls for these monsters, they are specifically looking for extras with unique facial features, because they know. I mean, they want their kind of monsters to stand out. They want them to be creepy. They want them to be unsettling. When they put that creepy smile on, they have to have those kind of unsettling features, and a lot of them do. I mean, you look at a lot of the actors that they chose to be monsters; they're just straight up creepy looking. Like, they are creepy.
Yes,
but
absolutely,
she definitely. They're super creepy, but she almost has the capability of becoming as iconic as Smiley, just in looks alone, I would say. But
yeah,
that's just me.
And I think she also, in that picture right there that you have of her, that was when she was singing or humming the London Bridge nursery rhyme. Yep. So I'm curious if that may have something to do, like it was something we don't even know has any meaning then, but maybe in season 3 it will, because she's back and possibly getting the baby.
Yep. It starts to look a little bit weird, because like you said, when you first hear it, you don't have a whole lot of context for who this monster is. Obviously we can tell she was a nurse. That much is obvious. But yes, you hear her kind of humming what appears to be that London Bridge is falling down, a nursery rhyme, and then all of the theories that are swirling around for season 3 already, with the nurse potentially stealing Fatima's baby. It starts to make you wonder a little bit more, I guess.
You can look into the nursery rhyme, guys. I didn't bring it in front of me. I'll have to do it for the next one, or put it in chat next time. But there's some weird stuff behind that nursery rhyme as well. But yeah, some good stories.
Like Godwood?
Yeah, it's like it. Of course, none of them are proven.
Version.
But supposedly, they found dead bodies under it, so the bodies were there to hold the bridge up. It's some weird superstitious stuff. I don't know. Go look into it. I'll put it back in the Discord. I looked into it when we first saw this scene way back when, so I don't recall all of the little fairy tale stories and stuff that went along with it, but there were some interesting little stories.
Okay, interesting. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, because I remember you mentioning that last year as well, with the London Bridges falling down. Hearing her hum it, I believe you were the first one to catch that. So yeah, maybe it's all connected. Maybe it's all foreshadowing for her stealing Fatima's baby. Imagine that. Is that nurse a dude? Says Buddha Cafe. I certainly hope not. I don't think it's a dude.
Oh
I
God.
feel like, I mean, of course, you can never be too sure nowadays, but I think it's a female. I don't want to assume, but I think it's a female. But I could be wrong. Who knows? London Bridge, unless you stop the melody. Yes, the monsters have more color, are more controversial. Yeah, I mean conversational. Excuse me. And yeah, it seems like just based on that 30 seconds alone, we are going to get some heavy monster dialogue in season 3. At least at the very much in that barn scene. We're going to get some monster dialogue. And I know we've had some mixed reactions to that. Some people seem to love the monsters having some dialogue, and some people seem to think maybe less dialogue for the monsters is better. I'm kind of a mind where I think less dialogue for the monsters is better. I feel like you don't want to humanize these monsters too much. You want them to have that creepy, foreign feeling. Where they look like you, but they're not like you. So I really feel if you throw them too much dialogue, you could end up humanizing them a little too much, and then they kind of become less scary. At least just for me. I mean, I know other people think otherwise, which is totally cool. But how do you
Yeah.
guys think on that in the chat and on the panel? How do you feel about the monsters having a heavy, heavy dialogue season? Do you want them having a lot of dialogue, or do you prefer the kind of silent, creepy smile type?
I mean, the way they're playing it's pretty good, where you get like 1 or 2 main monsters a season that kind of give you a little more dialogue, and then the rest are
Yeah.
kind of just like barely
Yeah.
even said anything. I like that because I feel like that little bit of creepy dialogue is needed. There's good lines that they put in there. But yeah, I don't want to overdo it. Don't overdo it.
What about you, Dana?
Well, it throws me back to the very first episode of season 1 when Granny knocks on the little girl's window and is just talking to her and kind of coaxing her to let her in. And I love that some of the monsters get to come out and give you that extra creep factor. I like that they're not all silent, but no, I don't want them all sitting there and having, grand discussions with people. But I'm hoping within the talking that boy is maybe they'll reveal something.
Yeah.
That's my hope.
And I definitely agree with that. I feel like if they are going to have dialogue, I want it to be meaningful dialogue, not just weird throwaway lines. Like if you're going to have the monsters talk, let it be for a reason. Let it be for a purpose, not just to kind of make them seem a little kind of witty. Like that's just not the monsters I envision when I think about these creatures. And that's what makes these creatures so unique, is that they do look like us, but they're nothing like us really. And you start giving them too much dialogue, you start making them have too much kind of human like emotions and movements, it loses a little bit of the fear factor of the monsters. Just for me personally, I don't mind a little bit of dialogue, but let's keep it to a minimum at best. Let's try to do as least dialogue for them as possible. But if it's good dialogue, it's good dialogue, I guess so. She's a dude, says Wolf Spear. And Dean also thinks that looks like a dude. You guys could be right. You guys could be right. I mean, I don't know. I thought it was a female, but who knows?
Who are we to judge?
Who are we to judge? Indeed,
it's just a dude playing another
Playing
dude.
a chick. Playing a chick.
Yeah, the dude playing the dude disguised as the nurse chick. Exactly. Yeah.
It's fine.
But yeah, let's see what you guys have to say. Do you think the monsters should have a lot of dialogue or not? I see some good comments in here, and I definitely want to get to as many of them as possible. Also, I believe the red monster is residing in the dummy doll. The ventriloquist is Latin means to speak from stomach. Okay, speak from the stomach. And what part of the body is being ripped out? Yes, we do see the stomach and the insides getting ripped out quite a lot. Okay.
Like that. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it because that dummy doll is very creepy. It is very
It's super
possessive like.
It is super creepy, and I get
Yeah,
the whole speak from the stomach
Don't
thing because
don't let it
obviously you
get
have your
you.
arm completely up the puppet's stomach, so I get the speak from the stomach reference. But yeah, that's a good one, Carrie.
but now I have a question for you guys. When Boyd shouted that line, "You won't break me," it was A, in the daytime, and B,
Yep.
he was in the middle of the woods. How did that
Cowboy here.
cowboy monster know what he
Mm.
said?
How exactly did they, how exactly did the voice on the other end of the radio know Tabitha was digging in the basement? It's like, it seems like they are under some
Mhm.
sort of surveillance, be it technological or supernatural. It seems like they're being watched. These monsters tend to know details about them that they shouldn't know, their names, intimate details about who they are. These monsters have some kind of inside knowledge. How they're getting it, who knows? But it seems like they're under some kind of surveillance, even during the day. Yeah, that's a good point, Dana.
Because we've seen the monsters sleep in the tunnels. So we know that
Yep.
they're not awake at all during the daytime. So for
Right.
Boyd to shout that and then the cowboy know you said we couldn't break you, like who relayed that message to the monster?
Boy in
Or who
white.
gave him that information?
The boy in white
Ooh,
lurking around.
boy in white playing both sides, filling in the
Yeah.
monsters and all the beats that happen while they're sleeping. Yeah. I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, I get the feeling they're under some sort of surveillance, or maybe even the monsters have some small level of low telepathic abilities, where they can maybe read a little bit of your thoughts, or maybe your most recent thoughts. It would make sense, at least if it would at least explain how they know everybody's name, how they know these details about them that they shouldn't seemingly know. And like you said, especially if they are asleep during the day, maybe there's some sort of low level telepathy at play there that they can kind of read their minds to a certain extent, maybe
Well,
not everything, but maybe a
I
certain extent.
low key, it's kind of off the wall a little bit. But when we were doing the '90s horror, we were watching Flatliners a little bit, and we
Oh
were
my
talking about
god.
it. And there were some screenshots. I kid you not, of this boy with the dog that gave everybody this kind of boy in white vibes, right? And then you think about it with Flatliners, these people are, the dude was like in a weird comatose state watching these weird visions and dreams of stuff. And then I don't know, I don't like it, but it could be like Flatliners. That would
We
be
so
terrible.
figured it out. We so figured it out. They're in like a twilight like place. There was a boy with a dog. Then we saw the tree in the background of the image. So there was a lot of from connections to the movie Flatliners.
Like the old one, not the new one that's come out. You go back. Not
Yeah,
the, yeah,
Kevin
go back.
Bacon's Flatliners.
Okay, yeah, Keith Sutherland. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and like
Okay.
the guy was in there trying to fight the bad guy, and they were in like this weird, it wasn't purgatory, but like this limbo place, and it was just very, very weird.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, the original Flatliners movie is actually good. I saw the remake. The remake isn't, it's not horrible, but it's not as good as the original. The original is good shit. Yeah, that's good stuff. Mr. Bojangles says, "I mix too. It's like going from horror to horror light." Yeah, in terms of the monster speaking a little too much, I see what you're saying. Light or sitcom-y. Yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. That's why I feel like minimal dialogue for the monsters is probably the best. Dracula talks a lot, says awesome one. Yes, he does, but Dracula has a certain kind of personality to him. He's not he's a totally different creature. He's got flamboyance to him almost. He's kind of suave. Like Dracula speaking a lot fits for his character just because of what the kind of monster that he is. But these monsters, too much dialogue, I feel, could make them not as scary. Dummy is also connected directly to the symbol. That's why Chris and Jade see him. Could be. Very well, could be. Not a lot of talk from them, says Wolf Spear. As long as no laugh tracks are used, yeah. Hopefully, we don't get that. We don't want any laugh tracks. That's for sure. The monsters try to convince you to let them in. They talk. Yeah, I don't mind them talking. I just don't want them to have overly amounts of dialogue. Obviously, they have to have a little bit, like you said, trying to coax people to let them in, stuff like that. That is in line with their characters, with the kind of creepiness of the monsters. But to throw them too much dialogue, you start to humanize them at that point. And that's something I hope they kind of avoid. But they have to have a little bit of dialogue. No one's saying they shouldn't have any at all. They definitely need to have a little, just not a whole lot. I like Jasmine sweet talking her victim before she guts him. And that was another thing. Jasmine seemed so much different from all of the other monsters simply because she had all of that dialogue. And she even had a little bit of a personality to her. She was smiling, giggling, and stuff. And I mean, it worked for the scene. But you look at the Jasmine monster compared to the rest of the monsters, and she was acting completely out of character for how we knew the monsters up until that point, at least. So that's why, I mean, I don't mind a little bit of dialogue, but throwing them too much dialogue, having them giggling and laughing, that's the kind of stuff I hope they do avoid, just for me personally. Baby Toshiro says both, if they can be like the cowboy and the blonde monster from season 1. Yeah, I mean, yeah, again, the cowboy, I feel like his dialogue's a little bit creepy. It seems like they're there specifically trying to break Boyd. That dialogue is a little bit more in line from the season 1 Jasmine that we got. Maybe it's just me that I just didn't really like the Jasmine scene myself personally, but that's just me. Yes, if they talk, let it mean something. Yeah, if you're going to give them dialogue, give them some meaningful dialogue, not just some kind of throwaway lines, I believe. Yeah, I like that. I like that. The monsters, if the monsters ain't telling me what's going on in this, then they can zip it, says Carrie. Yep, I like it. I like it. Do y'all think these monsters are in the same state as they have been previously, or something changed with them in these scenes? Same state as they have been previously.
Do you mean like personality or just like in
Yeah,
general? Like maybe they got new powers?
yeah, I'm not sure
Well,
exactly
me and
if you can
Scarlett were
clarify.
talking before, and I think the monsters in that barn scene were out in the daylight. I don't think that scene in the barn is taking place at night. I'm thinking
Ah,
Winter changed
Yeah.
Fromville, and now the monsters are able to come out during the day.
Because if you look, when Boyd's tangling with the bald-headed monster and the mechanic, if you look at the wooden like slats or whatever, there's a slight bit of daylight. That
right here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind, and
And
I don't
you
know if
know,
that's like
Jeremy, being
morning
in the Northeast,
or at
the
night.
snowstorms can make it dark.
Very, very much so. I mean, absolutely. Or even sometimes at night, if you have so much snow up here at night, it can almost even appear like daylight sometimes too. So I can kind of see it being both ways. But it doesn't look completely pitch dark back there. I mean, it could just be the light from the moon, or the light from the moon and the snow bouncing off the ground. Because
Hmm.
again, around here, if we get a good amount of snow, you look outside at 11 o'clock at night, and it looks like it's broad freaking daylight out. Sometimes the moon just bounces off the snow so much and lights everything up. But no,
We didn't know if maybe they were going to do like they did in the movie Lost Boys, where it's basically, if it gets dark 24 hours kind of thing, they could come out 24 hours. So maybe the
yeah.
snowstorms change that. We're stretching out there.
Well, no, I mean, it did seem like Fromville itself, like the Fromville town, the place itself, it did seem like it is in some kind of state of change, at least some kind of state of change it hasn't been in a very long time. I mean, Victor's been here for 40 plus years. He's never had to deal with any kind of winter or anything, or at least that he knows of. I mean, I know Victor's memory isn't what it used to be. But it seems like this place doesn't really change in terms of weather and stuff like that. So it's now with winter coming around, clearly we see snow is going to be a factor in season 3. Maybe a little bit more is changing than we think. Yeah, who knows? Maybe the rules that have been set forth for us for these first 2 seasons are going to get broken a little bit. And again, it goes back to that scene between Jade and the dead bartender Tom in season 2, when Tom kind of comes back and visits Jade, where Jade says nothing about this place is normal. And the bartender says, no, you're wrong. Nothing about this place is familiar. But everything has a natural order to it. Even this place, even Fromville, has a natural order to how things work. We just don't know how that natural order operates. Clearly, it's different from the real world, from our world that we come from. But there are set rules, there are set physics to every single world you step into, whether there's magical elements or not. There is a natural order to things. We just don't know it yet. But yeah, maybe we are seeing Fromville as a whole being in some kind of state of change, not just with the weather, but maybe the monsters are changing. I know a lot of people were suggesting maybe the talismans are going to stop working. Who knows?
That's what I'm saying. If you're going to upgrade the monsters in some way, you have to be able to get them out during the day. And so now these people are not only not safe at night from the general monsters, take away the daytime, from them and being safe. Could you like now forget it?
Yeah, yeah. It's. I mean, we really have no idea. We have no idea what's going to be coming, especially now with winter coming around. With again, it seems like the town is in some kind of state of change, but we have no idea what that entails. What exactly is that going to mean? Or as Crazy Mad puts it in the chat, yeah, maybe who knows? Maybe it could just be an editing mistake. I mean, you never know. That's certainly possible. Um, Everything's possible, I guess. The silver bullets they made didn't work, right? No, as far as we know, anyway, the bile bullets did not work. We saw Boyd load up the bile on all of the bullets. He loaded up the gun, and actually, one of the monsters that he shot with the bile bullets was the cowboy monster. And the creepy nurse monster. Those were two of the monsters that were out there in the woods that night coming up to the RV, and those were exactly two of the monsters that Boyd himself shot with the bile, the cowboy monster and the nurse monster. But it seems like it didn't affect them.
Seemingly. You don't know. Who knows? Maybe we'll come
Seemingly.
back season 3. You never know.
Yeah,
They're back
who
there in the
knows?
sea. You never know.
Yeah. Who knows? And yeah, I agree with this as well. It doesn't seem like it almost seems like they don't even want Boyd dead here. Like they are just trying to break him. They're not really trying to kill him. That's kind of the vibe I get from this entire
Mhm.
scene as well. I mean, if they wanted to kill him, they could have probably
Yeah.
snapped his neck or ripped him apart in a freaking heartbeat. Hell, they have him tied to the post at one point. He's completely helpless. We see him literally get tied to this post, arms behind his back. If they wanted to kill Boyd, they could easily have killed Boyd.
Oh, yeah.
Now, something could happen where maybe they do plan on killing him and he ends up escaping first. Maybe that's a possibility. But for the most part, it seems like this scene is designed to break Boyd, not kill him.
It seems like Boyd's almost, I don't want to say, I guess he's stronger in a sense, like, because they seem to want to feed off that fear, or they want people to be broken and, like, completely helpless before they take them. So maybe
Mm-hmm.
Boyd is just so strong, because he told him, you're not going to break me. Challenge accepted.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see if we're not going to break you. Yeah. And yeah, this is a possibility as well. Other monsters, similar to like the Borg and the entity, and the entity like a Borg queen. Like, yeah, maybe there's some sort of hive mind going on.
Hmm.
If they operate under some sort of hive mind, where if one knows something, they all know it. That is certainly a possibility as well. Again, we have no idea how these monsters operate and what the extent of their abilities are. So that's definitely a very strong possibility, actually. I mean, we saw that play out in Game of Thrones as well, when it came down to, at least on the TV show version. I get the feeling the book version is going to be far different. But at least on the show version, we found out that all of the whites kind of think and feel and act together like a hive mind. We see the Hound kick one of them when they're on the frozen lake at the end of season 7, and all of the other whites clearly feel the kick. So there could be some sort of hive mind thing going on here between the monsters, where yeah, one knows something, maybe they all know it. It's certainly possible. From Fanatic says, I think that some of the monsters transform into crowds during the day. That might have been something to do with the dead crow that was down there. Interesting. Yeah, that was a very weird scene where I mean, it seems like crows, or the crows that we have been seeing, it seems like they're going to have some sort of significance on the overall story. They wouldn't be throwing all this crow imagery at us for no reason. But what exactly are the crows for? That's one thing the show hasn't really dived into at all, really. Like, what exactly these crows are a representation of. But yeah, we get that weird scene down there in the tunnels where we see a rat eating one of the crows. And if that isn't kind of symbolic for something else, I imagine it will be a huge symbolic reference for something later on down the road. It just seems like it's something we don't have context for yet. But yeah, what's up with the freaking crows, guys? I don't know what the fuck's up with the crows, but I get the feeling they're going to play an important role. Some way, shape, or form. Some way, shape, or form. And they have an issue with Boyd for some reason. Yeah, again, I mean, why are they singling out Boyd? Is it simply because of that one line that he said at the end of season 3, where he said, this place can't break me? So they said, okay, let's teach this guy a lesson. Or is it a little bit more to that? Maybe they recognize something inside Boyd. Clearly, they must know Boyd is their leader at this point. If they know if they know everything that they know about the town and about them personally, they must know Boyd is their leader and Boyd is kind of holding them all together. So if you want to make a town, more afraid, obviously you take away the one person that's protecting them, or at least break the one person that's protecting them. So it seems like, yes, if anything, if they're going to single out anybody, Boyd seems to be a good candidate for them to single out.
Well, also, Boyd is the only one who has killed one of them. Boyd's the only one who's
Yep.
constantly trying to kill them and trying to find a way to go home. He's the one who found the talismans. Like Boyd is a thorn in their side.
He's their biggest threat, without a doubt. Yeah. He's definitely their biggest threat. But you start to think of what other kind of threats could the monsters or other entities within Fromville already have tried to maybe take off the board. And I always think back to Sarah early on in season 1, where the monsters were telling her to kill Toby when he came in. And I get the feeling that maybe whatever was influencing Sarah, maybe they knew, either Jade or Toby or the Matthews family, maybe they knew that both of these cars arriving at the same time, and the individual people that were arriving, maybe they knew these people were going to be threats at some point in time later on. And obviously it seems like Jade is definitely going to be a threat, where he's seemingly attached to the symbol somehow. I get the feeling Jade probably will be the one to solve the riddle of the symbol. I don't think he's going to go mad like Christopher maybe did. But maybe whatever entities were influencing Sarah, maybe they knew Ethan, Jade, Tabitha. Maybe they knew these people were going to be a threat at some point later on down the road. And maybe that's why Sarah was tasked with killing some of them. They were trying to wipe some threats off the board.
They took Father Katri out to bring him back to break Boyd.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just throw that out there.
That's why I also think they killed Kenny's father to break Kenny.
Could be. It could be.
A lot of breaking going on with the show. There's a lot of breaking people down for something.
And again, it seems like it's not all about death with these monsters and with Fromville as a whole. It seems like they don't just want people dead. Yes, they do plenty of killing, but it seems like fear and insecurity and things like that. These emotions, it seems like they almost get fed on by certain monsters or entities within Fromville. Because, yeah, like you said, Scar, a lot of this is about breaking people's will down. We hear Kenny say very early on in season 1 to Jade, people that aren't able to adapt here end up breaking. And even Ellis has that line at the beginning of season 2 where he says he feels like the people that make it here are the ones that are able to kind of hold on to themselves inside, able to hold on to that one thing that makes them human inside. And the people who don't have that kind of inner fortitude, those are the people who end up potentially getting broken and going mad in this place. So yeah, it definitely doesn't seem like this place is about death, in and of itself. Yes, there's plenty of killing, but it seems like it's a little bit deeper than that. It seems like there's almost some kind of psychological kind of torture going on here where they want people afraid, they want them broken, they don't want them to have hope. I think all of these things come into play. It's not just about death. Let's see what
they
else,
definitely want to break them down. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing. I was done. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Boyd and his son have the blood now. Yeah, again, we still have no idea what's going on with that. I know, at first glance, it seems like the worms are gone, but this is a incredibly foreign, blood-borne pathogen entity that we know nothing about. I wouldn't be too surprised if there were traces of these worms still inside Boyd or even inside Ellis. I wouldn't be surprised at this point. I'm not banking on it, but if it happened, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, it definitely made me think they're going to come back with the cicadas, since they showed that little bit of them, which just could be like a recap from last season, but they made me think like they're coming back. So yeah, I definitely think they're going to have to come back through either Boyd or his son.
Yeah, they do. They show this interesting shot there in the new trailer. And yes, it does look like it is used footage from season 2, similar to the shot that they use in the trailer of the doll down in the caves, which is definitely
Mm-hmm.
a season 2 shot. It seems like these are just season 2 shots that they threw in there, but I don't think they threw these specific season 2 shots in there on a whim just to kind of fill out the trailer. I feel like these shots were picked deliberately. And yeah, I don't think the entity's gone. I don't think we have. I definitely don't think we have seen the end of that entity. I have a feeling it's still lurking somewhere. But yeah, I don't think it's a random cicada shot. I feel like they threw these in there for a purpose.
Mm.
But we'll see. We shall see. Yeah, breaking Jade would be beneficial. Absolutely. Again, when you look at these characters, when you look at the core characters that are probably the most likely of finding answers and potentially finding a way out, you feel, instantly characters like Jade, Victor, Boyd, Tabitha. These are all these Elgin, Sarah, even these characters that have a kind of almost spiritual connection to this place where they're tapping into something a little bit more than your average everyday Fromville resident. Elgin with the weird visions and everything he's having, Ethan with the weird dreams that he was having upon entering Fromville, seeing the Lake of Tears and all of that. It seems like certain characters, and we hear Fatima kind of explain it a little bit herself, that certain people, when they come here, they react to this place a different way. Everybody reacts to this place in a different way. Some people have dreams, visions, premonitions, stuff like that. These are the characters that I feel are going to be the most integral in terms of finding answers and finding a way out. And yeah, breaking Jade would definitely be beneficial. If the objective is to keep everybody here and to keep them from escaping, breaking Jade would be a good bet, indeed. Indeed. I think Sarah is a goner this season. I have a feeling she has outlived her usefulness to the grand scheme. Yeah, a lot of people are thinking that it is potentially Sarah in the barn with Boyd there at the end of the trailer. And when you hear the scream, even though it's very quick and it's very high pitched, it's kind of hard to tell. It does kind of sound like Sarah, but it could really be anybody. But I know Sarah has been a huge, huge, huge popular guest. And again, I can understand why people would think that. And considering how much closer Boyd and Sarah did end up becoming between, the end of season 1, season 2, them going off in the woods together, Boyd definitely cares about Sarah, at least more than he did in the beginning of season 1. So yeah, seeing Sarah die gruesomely right in front of him would definitely have a profound impact on Boyd. I don't think it would break him, though. I don't think it would break him. I almost feel like nothing would break Boyd. But if there is the slightest chance that Boyd could get broken, I feel like anything outside of Ellis's death or Fatima's death with his unborn grandchild, I feel like anything outside of those two, Boyd will be able to overcome. I just don't see anything other than that truly breaking him. If even that could do it. What about you guys? You think Boyd is capable of getting broken?
Yeah. I mean, if you take his son away, maybe, especially his grandchild. I mean, he seemed pretty happy about that last season. I'm wondering though if that's even the voice we hear. I think is Sarah, but is it like are they putting the voice just in there?
Yeah.
Like,
is it in the
really
scene? Is it two different scenes?
Yeah.
Could it be audio from a totally different scene that they kind of just threw in there last minute to kind of screw with us? Which trailers love to kind of screw with us. We know how these trailers go.
Because I do think Fatima's in there, and it's possibly the birth, maybe just the way that because the nurse being there kind of makes you feel that way. But I don't know, man. That voice is so Sarah to me. When I did the little audio things too to listen.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I could definitely see it being either or. But if it ends up being audio from a totally different scene, that wouldn't surprise me at all. We know how they love to kind of throw these trailers together. Very much out of sequential order. So that's certainly a big possibility. Well, we've seen many trailers do that in the past.
I wouldn't
What
be
about you,
surprised if they I wouldn't be surprised if they killed Fatima for the baby. Because I still think
Yeah.
that baby is not Ellis's. I think Fatima somehow got pregnant within one of her dreams. and the
Ooh.
entity wants this baby in some way. Either it's
Yep.
because maybe it's a vessel for the entity in some kind, it is
Mm-hmm.
the entity in some kind being reborn, or like it just has some, the baby is going to have a connection to, because she knows the look on her face wasn't a, oh, they said maybe I can't get pregnant. It was a, I can't have babies.
Mm-hmm.
And so it, and with the dream, she got pregnant during the whole time where the dreams were kind of going on. So what if the entity got to her in her dreams and they're coming for the baby?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that
Mm.
little Freddy
Yeah, I
baby.
mean, the little weird demon baby. Yeah, I mean, I feel like something is going on with this pregnancy. I feel like there's been plenty of foreshadowing pointing to this pregnancy potentially being off. Obviously, Ellis in season 2 thinking about the baby being born with fangs and claws, stuff like that. Fatima dead set that she couldn't get pregnant in the first place. Yeah, I think something is going on with this baby. I will be very surprised if this is just a normal pregnancy for Fatima. I think something is going to happen. And yes, I recently did a video proposing that it could potentially be some kind of vessel for the worm entity. And Dana, a lot of that is, one of the original things that you came up with as well, thinking where maybe the entity, maybe destroying the music box didn't destroy the entity. Maybe that's what the entity actually wanted the whole time, and it just freed the
Yep.
entity even more.
Yep.
And I do think that is a big, big possibility because I don't think that entity is gone. And yeah, maybe it's using Fatima's baby as some sort of vessel of sorts to be born into the real world. It seems like it wants a physical form, and we know it wants to escape. And that would be a good way. That would be a good first step in escaping Fromville. It seems like this thing, obviously, it could only affect people in their dreams. It didn't have a physical form. We saw how excited it got when it touched Kenny's arm in the waking world, seemingly kind of pointing to the fact that this thing got excited at the prospect of actually physically interacting with people outside of dreams. So yeah, I think that could be a huge possibility that the entity is not gone, that it is searching for a physical form, and it's trying to escape Fromville. And it makes you
Yeah.
think, is Fromville one giant supernatural prison to begin with? I mean, I don't know. Who knows?
Like, I just think it was too easy to destroy that music box. Like, if I was telling Scarlett before, like, if the monsters didn't want Boyd to destroy that music box, wouldn't they have thrown everything at him? Like, I just feel like he was able to get to that music box too easy. And Abby was like, oh
Yeah,
no, please don't destroy the music box. We don't want you to
right.
do that. Like, it was like
Yeah.
all, and I think the cicadas were a misdirect. I think the entity used the cicadas because Boyd would not let those three innocent people die. And by
Hmm.
connecting them to the music
Just to
box
lure
and
Boyd
telling
back
him,
there.
yeah, like
Hmm.
telling him destroying the music box saves the three of them, hell yeah, Boyd is going to destroy that music box. Like, he
Yeah.
is going to definitely destroy that music box. Just like I think there's
Yeah.
more to the melody. I don't think when they're saying destroy the melody is the melody from the music box. I think that we're thinking too literal. And I think the
Hmm.
melody is something else.
Okay. Yeah, that's certainly a high possibility as well. Yeah, we hear they touch, they break, they steal, yada yada. The whole nursery rhyme that became a big part of season 2, and yeah, a lot of us thought that it was potentially over when Boyd technically stopped the melody by breaking the music box. But yeah, Dana, maybe we are thinking a little too literally in terms of stopping the melody. Maybe it's referring to something else entirely.
I don't
Certainly
know. Like,
possible.
I just have this feeling like the nurse chick is singing the London Bridges. You have the melody of the music box. Then you have the bus driver hearing the nursery rhyme outside of Fromville. Like, I think the melody is pointing to something, but they're giving us these little like things that we're like, oh, there's the melody. There's the melody. And I
Hmm.
just think that
Yeah.
it's something different.
Yeah. Again, usually, especially a show like this, there's always a little bit more than meets the eye. So if we think, the simple answer is right in front of us, 9 times out of 10, that is not going to be the case with a show like this. They call these kind of shows mystery box style of storytelling for a reason, because you think it's one thing and really it's revealed to be something totally different in the end. So yeah, like you said, thinking a little too literally in terms of literally translating these nursery rhymes, maybe that might not be the best way to approach it. Because again, who knows what the show is trying to throw at us. Yeah, and that was a good comment as well. Yeah, remember what Boyd said about Abby. Abby is iron. She doesn't know how to bend in season 1, episode 9. That is a very, very good point. Because again, it goes right back to the conversation that we saw Kenny having with Jade early on in season 1, where saying people that don't bend end up breaking here. And yeah, that very much was Abby. I mean, as tough as she was, as tough as in, exterior as she had, her interior, she was probably very rigid, very unmoving, very unwilling to bend, as you put it. And yeah, people like that, those seem to be the most vulnerable people when they arrive here in Fromville in terms of something manipulating you. So yeah, maybe having a strong will isn't always the best thing here in Fromville. Maybe you need to be a little more adaptable. Seems like the ones that adapt do a little bit better. And Jade seems to be adapting beautifully. Like, remember how Jade was when he first arrived in Fromville? Jade was a freaking maniac in those first few episodes when he first arrived, stealing people's bikes, thinking this whole thing was one giant escape room. Like, Jade has gone on such a journey from where he first started when he first arrived in Fromville to seeing him now being one of the more kind of, I know he's not really a serious character, he still jokes around a lot, but he's definitely a vital role in terms of solving some of these things. So to see the arc that Jade has gone on just during these first 2 seasons alone has been phenomenal, to see where he started and see where he is now. But yeah, he'll always be my favorite character. If there's one character I don't want to lose at all, it is definitely Jade.
All right, ding-dongs. It's almost go time. Anybody fucks this up, you spend a night in the box.
Yes, and he still gets to wear his kitty cat shirt this season. I'm very happy.
Yes, he does. He's got his kitty cat shirt back on. We saw him wear that shirt in season 1, right? And maybe early on in season 2. Mm-hmm. And then he changes to like Disco Jade towards the end of season 2. Where I swear to God, go back to season 2 and watch the episodes when Jade is in the bar. Yeah. When Jade and Tabitha are in the bar together. Look at how Jade is dressed. That is 70s disco era Jade if I've ever seen one. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious the way he's dressed.
Look at him now.
Here he's back in his old cat shirt.
Look at that beard. Look at that hair.
Jade looks rough. He looks like he's been through some shit. Like he just looks like he ain't got no more rolling papers. He's a mess. Jade is just a mess.
But look, like Boyd does keeping it trim. Like, does he not go to Jade and ask for advice, or does he just want to have that, really scruffy beard come in?
Yeah, he's shaggy. He's pretty shaggy.
Boyd's anyway, all cleaned up.
A little cleaner. Yeah, Boyd's a little bit cleaner. I also saw a lot of people pointing to the blood on Boyd's shirt, and they were thinking that this was deliberately a V and a T. And I mean, it does look a little bit like a V and a T. I get the feeling it's probably just a coincidence, and it's just just happened to land like that. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I see. That was the first thing I saw as well. This eye and this T. I mean,
I immediately thought of the evil clown.
That's exactly what I thought. That was literally my first thought as well. It looks like it. I kind of wasn't counting this other one here on the end. All I saw was this at first, the I and the T. But a lot of people are pointing to this and saying it's probably a VT. But I think that's just a coincidence. Victor! It's Victor! It's Victor! Case solved. Do you guys think that these are... Do you think they are deliberate letters, or do you think this is just happenstance?
I would say happenstance, but in this show, I mean, I don't know. I still say happenstance, though, but yeah, it's Victor.
It's from. Who knows? Who friggin' knows?
Yeah, I'm gonna get
Like,
Pennywise cameo in season 3, guys. We know Stephen King's a huge fan of the show. If he's gonna lend his IP to anybody, it would be a show like this.
Oh, what if that is
Although
just like a little Easter
well,
egg or just a little like
a little
nudge
nod,
to it?
a little wink of the cap, and a nod to kind of Stephen King. Maybe that I kind of thought of that as well, maybe,
That'd be
but
cool.
I don't know.
well,
I don't
shit.
know.
You never know what could come through a friggin' faraway tree.
You don't know. We're doing all kinds of stuff.
You never knew. You never knew.
Just like if we see
Let's see.
Jacob coming through that faraway tree, that's it. It's over.
I'm still holding out just the slightest bit of hope that one day we see Sam and Dean show up in their Impala, and that is when
Yes.
shit's really gonna get real.
Yes. Look, I've been
That
saying the whole
is when
time
it's
they
gonna
need the
get real.
Fromville book, man. They need the dad's diary journal. I don't know what
Yes.
they're doing here with these freaking bullets that they got bile on. They did not read the manual properly.
They need Sam and Dean's trunk, is what they need. They don't need no bile bullets. They need Sam and
Sam
Dean's
and
trunk.
Dean could have figured this out in an hour.
Yes.
Yeah, they already would have been slicing and dicing these monsters up. Sam and Dean don't play around.
They would have been chopping
Maybe
heads off, setting fire. They would have been doing it all. Like, what do you mean, you people just doing this? Let's go chop them up.
Boy got as many kills as the monsters. Plus he fed them once. They think he's on their side. That's interesting. That's an interesting way to look at it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Boyd's got I'm sure Boyd's got plenty of bodies under him for sure. Maybe pulled some elements from the Demon Knight series. I'm not familiar with Demon Knight myself, but I don't know. Maybe. My babies are definitely demon spawn sometimes. Crazy Mad. Eesh, crazy. Welcome, Krager. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. She said, I was told that weird way. I was told that is weird way to put it. Yeah, maybe. No snow globe endings or in the mind of a child, something in a coma ending. No. I am right there with you as well, baby Toshiro. I 100% agree. I really hope that this whole thing isn't just one kind of weird kind of trip thing that's happening inside the mind of a child. That would be kind of an anticlimactic ending, I think. Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully not. Welcome, Robert Saunders. Good to see you as well, my friend. Welcome. Let's not forget about Toby. I think he's way more important than we know. Why make Sarah kill him and cut out his tongue? And again, yeah, that's we were speaking on this a little bit earlier, where early Sarah, season 1, it seems like obviously she was being directed by some kind of weird voices, some kind of weird force inside Fromville was clearly manipulating Sarah into doing their bidding. And obviously, yeah, we see Sarah has tried to take out not only we saw Sarah take out not only Toby, but has tried to take out Ethan as well. And I get the feeling when these two cars were arriving in Fromville, whatever force that was in control of Sarah or manipulating Sarah, it seems like maybe they were trying to potentially eliminate future threats. Maybe the voices told Sarah to kill Toby because maybe they thought Toby was going to be the threat when really it was Jade. And same thing with Ethan. It seems like Ethan is definitely going to be some kind of threat to whatever is in charge of this place. Ethan's going to play some kind of part in solving some of these mysteries, I have a feeling. But yeah, maybe that's why Sarah was being manipulated. Maybe they were trying to kind of eliminate future threats in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, why kill Toby? And the way that they took out Toby's tongue, that I think was just to kind of make it look like it was a monster that killed Toby. Because at the end of the day, we have Sarah killing Toby with a freaking with a scalpel. And then it seems like the monsters said one other thing to Sarah after Toby was already dead. And I get the feeling that was make it look like one of the monsters killed him. Because obviously Sarah then went and leaves the door open to the clinic so the monsters can go in and kill everybody else. Almost like that was one big cover up to cover up the fact that Sarah killed Toby. So I feel like the cutting of the tongue and everything else Sarah did afterwards, I feel like that was probably just to make Toby's body look like it was one of the monsters that killed them, just to kind of cover Sarah's ass. At least that's kind of how I took it. But What about you guys? You think Toby could have been a little bit more important? Maybe you think the monsters or whatever entity was in influencing Sarah. You think they were deliberately trying to cover that up?
I mean, I took it as well in the time that it took place as a way to cause that division, that fear to kind of grow. Because at that point, I think Boyd kind of had the town together. They didn't have any deaths, too much going on, and then it was kind of like the grandma hit, and then they were really trying to sow that division, and then she did that, and it was almost like you couldn't trust anything. Like the talismans don't work. Like, well, how did this talisman fall, right? Because the talisman was still there. So yeah, I think it was just there to kind of get that fear really drummed back up in
I think
From.
that's part of it. I think that's part of it. But if it was just to kind of sow division, why go to such lengths to make it look like a monster killed Toby, if not to protect Sarah? It was my kind of thinking. Why else go to that
Oh
length and
yeah,
have
I
Sarah
mean they
do
didn't
that?
want to know Sarah was the one that did it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like they were probably planning on using Sarah a little bit more. Again, one of those first things that the Sarah says to Father Cautry anyway was these voices have been here for a long time, and for a long time they've waited for someone that could hear them. So it seems like these voices have been trying to reach out to Fromville residents for a very long time, trying to get them to, do their bidding in some way, shape, or form. And it seems like Sarah was maybe the first one to come around who could actually hear them. And maybe that's why some of the other characters go mad, like Abby and Christopher, some of these other characters who potentially go mad. Maybe that's part of why they go mad, because these voices are reaching out and they're not quite able to receive it the way Sarah is, and ends up kind of scrambling their brains a little bit. Who knows?
Well, maybe you could, because I mean Jade also gets to see the body later too, which is what signifies to
Hmm.
him how real it is. Maybe they had to have the
Yes,
body look a certain way. So
maybe.
Sarah had to
I
do
feel
it.
like
Maybe they couldn't trust the monster. I don't know. I mean, that is weird. That's a weird question because they're kind of talking about it in the chat, and I'm kind of thinking now, I'm like, I don't know.
Well,
Make me
just because it
think.
seems like if they come into the clinic and they see that dead body there, I imagine they're probably not going to do anything. I don't see them clawing up a dead body just to do it. So if anything, Sarah's sitting there slashing up Toby's body to kind of make it look like a monster killed him. That's just kind of how I took it, but who
Yeah, but
knows?
like, why even do it? Like they're saying, I'm sorry, they were saying in the chat, why even do it in the first place? Like, you open the door, wouldn't you think that would have killed him? Because he was kind of out of it.
Toby was already dead at that point. Why would the monsters go up to a dead body and
No, I mean,
thrash him
like,
and
why
slash
even
him up?
kill him to begin with? Why not just let the monsters in?
Just to make sure Toby was dead, because I have a feeling they thought maybe he was going to be a potential threat.
Ah,
Let's not leave it to chance that the monsters might get him. Let's have Sarah kill him definitely and cover it up later and make it look like the monsters killed him. Because yeah, I suppose she could have just left the door open and hoped that Toby got killed. But wouldn't you want to be a little more sure? I would be anyway.
got it.
I would want to be a little more sure. And I get the feeling they got the wrong guy. I get the feeling they were probably thinking Toby was going to be the threat when really it's Jade. Or who knows? Maybe Toby would have been a threat as well if he stuck around. Maybe, but I get the feeling they got the wrong guy. I think Jade is the real threat. But who knows? Who knows? That's
No,
what makes
you
the
got
show
so
so
many
freaking fun.
questions. I got more
I
questions than
know.
I
I
thought I
love
had. We went over this before.
it.
30
Well, let's go
seconds.
over another
This thing
thing.
was 30 seconds. And look at us. Look at us,
I
From.
know,
Look what
right?
you're doing.
Look at what 30 seconds can do to a fandom. I absolutely love it. And yeah, everybody in the chat, you guys are killing it tonight, as always. But let's talk a little bit about this, something that Scarlett, Dana, and I were discussing, and everybody else was kind of discussing in the Discord as well. If we look a little bit closer, and if you watch this trailer on extremely slow-mo, obviously we do get to one point where we know Boyd gets slashed in the arm. That much
Mhm.
seems to be clear up until this point. We see the slash mark right here. It seems like this is right after Boyd gets slashed and the blood hasn't really started bleeding yet. But then if we look at some other frames of Boyd in the trailer, boom, the blood is
Mhm.
already starting to pour exactly where the slashes were. So clearly one of these monsters slashes Boyd in the arm. But which one could it be? I think it's solved, because if we look at a close-up still of the weird professor-like monster, if you look a little closely at his face and even at his hands a little bit, it's almost like he's changing out of monster form back into human form. And yeah, I get the feeling that you guys are right on the money. Everybody who spotted this, props
Oh, it
to
was
you
all
guys for having
Scarlet. It was all
yeah,
Scarlet. I get
You
no.
seriously had to like slow it down, even
yeah,
with
you
the
got to
scratch
slow it
mark
down and
scene.
zoom. Yeah.
Like
hmm
it's like at the
But no,
8
you're right.
second mark, I think, where the scratch. It's actually scratch marks start within the 8 second mark of the trailer, and there's
hmm
so much in that 1 second that flashes that if you actually
Yes.
slow it down, you see the development of the scratch marks, and you can tell the
hmm
difference between the claw marks in the fabric and the folds because there are folds there, but there's
Yeah,
claw
that's a
marks.
fold. That almost
Yeah,
that's a fold. That almost
that's
looks like a fold. These
yeah,
that looks maybe a
that yeah.
fold. These are clear claw marks though. Like that's a
Yeah, like you
claw
can
mark right
really
there.
see it. It's so much more
Yeah.
visible when you slow it down.
hmm it's I mean again it's a great catch. It's because yeah, it looks like I think we've solved this one. It does look like this is the culprit because again, if you if you zero in on his face, clearly he looks like he's kind of changing back into human form almost when he was
Mhm.
just in monster form, and even his hands still look a little kind of monstery.
And he's
And
also,
then
if you look at the two of them when they're grappling with him, with Boyd, the one is holding him, and the other
yeah,
one is the only one that could have been able to do the slash because he's the one like just on the other side of the
yes,
frame.
good point. Yeah, the other two are holding him down, so that would have freed this one up to make that slash. That's a good point. That's a very good point. So yeah, it looks like that is what is going on here in the trailer. That Boyd is actually getting his arm slashed by this guy right here, happy old Professor Monster that we saw in season 2. Although he looks a little
He looks
different in the season
different.
3 trailer. I think
Yeah.
that's just because he's not wearing glasses. In the
Is
trailer,
it?
he doesn't have
Oh,
glasses.
I
Yeah,
don't know, man. It's so tripping me out because I'm like, is it just the glasses? Because I
I thought
can't
it
really
was two
change a
different people
face.
too. Yeah, I thought it could be two different people too as well. Because they do look awful different, and I don't know if it's just because there's glasses here and there's no glasses in the trailer.
I mean,
We
they
look
could have
at him
got knocked
here.
off in the struggle, possibly, with them fighting with him. But
Same bow tie, same outfit,
I mean,
same
the
bow tie,
outfit's the
same
same, but the
everything.
face is what throws
Yeah,
me off.
the face
Because
it does
Because
throw you
remember,
off a
we have
little
like
bit.
multiple, like we've said it before, we've had some of these guys where we're like, okay, there's more than one mechanic possibly, or there's more than
It could
one.
be a recast. It could be meant to be the same monster, but they
Oh, okay.
recasted the actor. Maybe that's a
That's
possibility as well.
there. Yeah, that would explain it. We're looking at it like we're trying to figure this stuff out. It's just a recast.
Well, because for the most part, up until this point, all of the extras that they've used for monsters, we see them reappearing in multiple scenes, and we can always kind of tell which monster is which because they seem to be using the same background actors for all of these monsters. But yeah, maybe in this one case, maybe they recasted the actor where it's meant to be the same monster, but maybe it's just a different actor portraying him, or maybe him without the glasses just makes him look that much different. Maybe we
I
got a
know. I feel
Superman
like I
type
need to get the
something going on
glasses
here.
cut out and put on that image.
Yeah, put the glasses on. Let's put the glasses on him here. Let's Photoshop some glasses on him and compare the two. Yeah, we'll do that for next stream. We'll definitely do that. Yeah, the Clark Kent effect, right? Exactly. Maybe it's the Clark Kent
I
effect.
told myself that would never happen to. I was like, there's no way you can't tell.
Yeah, maybe it's the Clark Kent effect. I mean, it's strange how just an itty bitty pair of glasses kind of protected Superman for all those years, but it did for some
Maybe it did.
reason.
I
Yeah,
know.
maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, Vera. Maybe it's the Clark Kent effect.
It's
And yeah, he
real.
almost looks a little bit cleaner, doesn't he? Like, yeah, he looks like clean shaven a little bit. Like, he just looks a little bit cleaner, and his head here is completely bald. Whereas in the other one, I could be mistaken, but in the other one, I almost looks like he's got a little bit of hair. I could be wrong. No, he looks pretty bald there too, actually.
That's the
But it just
shine.
looks
That's the
so
moonlight
different.
shine.
Yeah, it's just the moonlight shining off his dome piece. Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe it's a different actor, or maybe
I'm
it's
trying to
just the
look at the
Clark Kent effect.
nose.
I
I'm
don't
like
know.
trying to
I don't know.
compare. So bad.
What I need to do is, and I'll do it real quick, and I'll upload it if I can get it done real quick. I will do a quick little side by side comparison of the two if I can get that done real fast. Let's see here.
I don't think they look like the same people.
They look different. They look a bit
Yeah, I don't think
different.
they're the same
Yeah.
people. Well, just think of it this way: one could be a banker, one could be a professor. You never know. They could have more than one monster with a bow tie.
They could, yeah, they could. Or again, it could be. I mean, seeing how it is the exact same outfit, just about. I get the feeling maybe it could be supposed to be the same monster, but they just recasted the actor for some reason. Because they do kind of look a little different. You know, they look the same and they look different, so it's tough. It is tough. But it's fun to kind of compare the two, if nothing else.
But did you guys also notice when they showed the image of the bottle tree? Did you see all the spider webs way far in the back? If you look
Oh
past the
yes,
bottle tree,
yes,
it's
yep.
filled with spider webs. So I wonder if we're going to get a little more with the spiders, or what
Yeah,
dragged
well, this
Boyd out
one,
into the woods.
Yeah,
I
he's
certainly
hoping.
hope so. Again, that's been a huge, huge question ever since the end of season one. What the heck was dragging Boyd and Sarah's tent? And I love how it's very convenient how we have the nightmare right at this shot as well. So maybe that's telling us something. And this, and I know a lot of people were pointing out, and I 100% noticed it as well. It almost looks like this is a different bottle tree, one that we
Yes.
haven't seen
There's
before.
two. Oh, is it one bottle
Yep.
tree? I almost seemed like there was two. Like they're
It
showing two
could be. I
different
mean,
bottle
we don't
trees.
really. It could be two bottle trees, and we're just not seeing all of the trunks behind it potentially. But it looks like this is a bottle tree we haven't seen before. It doesn't look like the faraway bottle tree. And it's definitely not the bottle tree that Boyd and Sarah found. We know the bottle. One thing about the bottle tree that Boyd and Sarah found is it was right in the middle of some pretty thick woods. There was no clearing or anything like this. There was a little bit of a clearing at the bottle tree that Victor and Tabitha went to. There was a bit of a clearing like this, so it maybe could potentially be that one. But it's definitely not the one that Boyd and Sarah went up to. The one that Boyd and Sarah went up to had no clearing at all. It was kind of right there in the middle of some pretty thick brush. But who knows? Maybe it's the same.
Yeah.
Maybe it's different.
They're showing the
I think it's
bottles,
different.
so we're gonna get some of them letters out of the bottles. Get to see some more numbers.
Yep. Yeah, what exactly is going on with all these numbers and all of these bottles? I mean, I imagine
Sarah's
that's something they
doing?
need to touch on.
If that's Sarah screaming and it's taken out of context, like it's not from that scene in the barn and they're in the woods, because she was screaming almost that same kind of scream when they were like in the woods with the entity and stuff. At the
Oh yeah, at the bottle tree when Boyd when they first found it, and he, after she kind of passed out and he put her in the tent, he went back and got one of the bottles down from the bottle tree.
but she was like freaking out and stuff and screaming. Like it sounds so much like that voice.
It could be. It very well could be. And we have heard, Sarah scream a handful of times, and I think that's a big reason why a lot of people are thinking it is Sarah. It does kind of sound similar to Sarah, so I won't be surprised if it's her at all. But yeah, who knows? Is it that same scene? Is it audio from a different scene that they just threw in there? That's the question, but who knows? Now, this is an interesting question. I would love to get everybody's take on this, both on the panel and on the chat. Beside the human creatures, do you think there's other monsters out there in the woods? I think there's got to be something. Just the very way that Martin said that the monsters were only the tip of the spear. That leads me to believe that there are other creatures out there. And I get the feeling they're probably going to be just as crazy or maybe even more crazier than the monsters themselves. But yes, 100%, John Rivera, I definitely think there are some other monsters out there that we haven't seen yet. But you too, Scarlett?
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, that phrase alone would make you think that. We know that there was the spider web with the spiders out there, which was really creepy. That wasn't just like a normal little spider hatching, or it didn't appear to be.
No. That was not normal spider action. That was weird.
There's no telling what else is out there, how it pops up, how this world kind of reveals things. I mean,
don't forget the thing banging on the bottom of the RV.
Nightmares, yeah. I mean, nightmares alone would suggest the fact that there's just going to be all kinds of creepy goodness that we're going to get. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, that's the thing. Who knows? We could still run into other creatures that are, we saw the very dreamlike entity in season 2 where it could kind of only affect people in their dreams. We could see more of that from something else, or we could see just flat out another monster, another kind of type, another breed of monster out there in the woods that hasn't been discovered yet. But yeah, I get the feeling these monsters that we are seeing, I don't think they're the only ones. What do you guys think in the chat? Do you guys think we will get some new creatures in season 3, or do you think some other creatures besides the humans and the monsters do exist? I'd love to know what you guys think. I'd love to know what you guys think. But yeah, the professor, it's a nice. That was a very nice catch. Awesome job to Scarlet and everybody else that spotted it. I mean, good shit, Scar. Very good shit. It definitely makes you think, and it definitely looks like that is the monster that scratched Boyd. But who knows? I like it. They replaced monsters. The librarian monster was younger in season 1, and yeah, maybe it's just like you said, yeah, maybe Bitey's right, and it's just again just kind of they swapped out actors. Maybe for whatever reason, whatever background actor they cast in season 2 to play those roles, maybe for some reason they weren't available. Maybe there was some kind of scheduling conflict, and maybe they just had to recast the role. It could be that simple. Who knows? Pizza sharks are real, says Awesome One. All right, pizza sharks are real. And yeah, he almost looks a little bit cleaner in season 3. In the season 3 still, yeah, he kind of does almost look a little bit cleaner, like a little bit more clean shaven maybe. I don't know, maybe it's just because it's a little bit more close up, and so we can kind of see him a little easier. But yeah, it almost looks like he's a little cleaner there as well. Where's he at? Where's our guy? Yeah, here he is. Yeah, it just, and it almost looks like his face and head is a little bit wider and rounder. You look at this guy's head and his face, it looks like he's got a pretty well-rounded head. Then you look at the other guy. The other guy's head looks almost a little more, longer, a little longer of sort, kind of, in some ways.
Right, like it just didn't quite match, but it could just be the recasting.
That is not a perfect circular head like the other guy is.
I don't know if it's the angle, because it's the lighting, the glasses.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Could just simply be the angle. That's the thing. It could be the angle, could be the shot. Many factors there, but I see what you guys are saying. In some cases it looks like the same. In some cases it looks different.
Yeah, but monsters do go from looking like clean to dirty all the time. That's where there's some shots where the monsters do look cleaner, and then other shots where they look dirtier. And I've like battled with that, trying to figure out if that's just the lighting with how they're shooting it, and maybe it's not picking up the dirt sometimes, and other times they make sure to make them look really extra dirty. But
yeah, it's could it be continuity errors? You never know. It could be any number of things. Just given the very nature of this show, the mystery box style of storytelling, when we see kind of discrepancies like this, we instantly kind of think it means something more, just by the very nature of this show. But sometimes it could just be, we're kind of seeing things in the clouds that aren't there sometimes, maybe. But I don't know. Either way,
Buddy just sent me something, and I don't know if it solves our Shoegate problem or not. But it was like, I think it was Brian from, what was that, season 2? He's got white tennis shoes. He sent me the picture. I got the picture. I'll send it to you.
Shoegate. It's Shoegate.
All these white tennis shoes.
Shoegate is alive. Shoegate
was it
is
1 foot?
alive.
Was it 2 feet? Was it an extra foot in the thing? 1 foot looks smaller than the other.
I'll send it to you. I'll have to look at it next time. But yeah, Bitey, I don't know, man. You got me thinking. They are white. They're solid white. And they are, oh man, I don't know. I'm about to show you all this picture.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
It's tough. Yeah, Shoegate's been pretty funny as that's been developing. We've seen so many great theories kind of pop up from this. Everything from it being one of the main characters in the cart, to it being maybe just a random extra that got killed by one of the monsters, to it being just random body parts that's kind of thrown in there. And maybe these are 2 different legs entirely. There's been a lot of great discussion around this thing. It's been pretty
like Cinderella. Whose shoe does the foot fit in?
Look, Bitey's in the chat. Bitey said they never found Brian's body. That's true. Where they finally found Brian's body.
Brian's body is the one body they have yet to account for. When they were counting all of the new bodies that came in on the bus, Brian and Kelly they couldn't find. They ended up finding Kelly, obviously, stuck to the freaking tree. But we never found out what happened to Brian's body, or at least we never saw it happen on screen. Maybe they potentially found Brian's body and it's a scene that just happens off screen. But at least on screen wise, we never saw what happened to Brian's body.
What if this is Brian's body? I think that's what Bitey's leading at. Because
maybe
he had white tennis shoes, y'all. Go. We'll put it in the Discord. You can peep it. Bitey, put it in the Discord because it's good.
Could be. It very well could be. Who knows?
Well, if anybody could solve friggin' foot game, it would be Bitey. So
It would be Bitey. Yeah, it would be Bitey. Yeah.
Is the foot slightly tattered? Like, it makes me think a
It
monster
looks.
did something.
Yeah, it looks. It definitely looks like this foot at least it had some kind of monster running. You look how mangled it is. It
Yeah.
looks like it was torn apart. This looks like monster action, at least on that foot for sure.
you know it is a mangled mess up under that tarp.
Yeah, yeah. You know it's a mangled mess when Boyd is specifically using the tarp to cover everything up. Remember in season 1 when he's kind of bringing what's his name's body to Father Cautry, and Ethan comes out. He quickly covers the body a little bit more with the tarp. Yeah, there's some gruesomeness going on under there, and yeah, who knows? Maybe it's not just one body at all. Maybe it's multiple body parts from multiple different bodies. For all we know, it's a lot of questions, but that's
Just a
why
whole
these
mess of
trailers are
people
so
up underneath
fun.
there.
Yeah, so good, so good. And yeah, Luna brings up as well. It's like, Boyd, sure, how is it so clean? We saw him last. He had blood on it from Reggie, from being shot from Reggie. What's up with that? Yeah, again, yeah, we see at the end of season 2, Boyd was clearly shot in the shoulder by Reggie, and there was clearly blood on his shirt. But then we see Boyd in some, here, Boyd, of course, has no blood on his shirt. Now, again, and I'm starting to think that maybe these are just two totally different shirts. Maybe
it's two totally different shirts.
He's a military man. You really think he doesn't have more than one of those shirts packed in his little case?
If you look at Boyd, every time he's dressed, he's always, not always, but he's usually always dressed with that same kind of overall coat blazer thing, and he's always got maybe a different kind of shirt underneath, whether it's a shirt this color or orange or blue. But that was kind of my thinking as well. It seems like this could be a different shirt than what he was wearing at the end of season 2. It's very similar in color, but I think it's a different shirt because, there's no blood there or anything. And the shirt that Boyd was wearing at the end of season 2, just seeing that he got shot and everything like that, I have to imagine one of the first things he did was change that shirt and address the wound on his arm. And who knows, this scene right here could be happening way later on in season 3. It could be happening in the beginning, but I definitely get the feeling that this scene that's happening in the barn here, this takes place after Boyd has changed his shirt.
Yeah.
But it does look like the same shirt because it is a similar color, so I do understand the confusion. I was a little confused myself, but that's my best guess that maybe it's a different shirt.
Yeah, I'm thinking these scenes are all mid or later.
Yeah.
None of these scenes are from the beginning.
Yeah, and I also I'm almost positive it's a different shirt because what was it after he got tangled up with Martin? I don't know if he had like the cut on his arm. Pretty sure that shirt got healed up, right? I don't think he still had that cut in that same. And he wears the same color shirt over, like he's got the black jacket, he's got that yellow over, or he's got the yellow button up, and then underneath it's like a black shirt or gray shirt or something like that. And that shirt's been messed up before. So, and he doesn't have the same little like stitching, or he's like nobody patched it up. So I just think he's got multiple clothing. Otherwise, I don't think they sewed that up.
Yeah, it could be. It very well could be. Yeah. Because even if they did sew it up, you'd think you'd see, it's, you don't get all that blood out of a shirt after a shot like that. I would imagine.
The pellets also went past the arm into like the front of the shirt. Like if you look at
holes.
But guys, also remember, people heal faster here too. So just because we don't know if this was a week or a month, his bullet wound could have healed faster.
It could have. It very well could have. Some people definitely seem to be healing a little bit faster than others. But it seems like the healing factor is reserved to people that aren't actively trying to find a way out. Whereas people like Boyd and Jim didn't seem to be healing as fast as everybody else in season 2. But yeah, who knows? It could just already be kind of semi-healed already, and this is a totally new wound. I get the feeling it's a new wound. I do think this is the beginning of these claw marks that we're seeing on Boyd's shoulder right here. We see him get scratched. And then later on in the trailer, we get another shot where clearly he's starting to bleed already on the shoulder right here. So it looks like he was indeed clawed by one of the monsters. And, thanks to Scarlett's eagle eye and everybody else.
Later, where it's like at the very beginning of the trailer where he's walking in, if you slow it down, there's just the tiniest little frame where you can see his shirt. And people think it looks like the bullet holes at the very beginning. when he's walking in with Jade, but you can actually see the torn fabric of the claw marks.
Yeah.
But
I
it's
think
at the
this
very
right
beginning.
here is yeah, I think this right here is right when he gets scratched anyway. I mean, because you look at the very next frame, this is the look of pain on someone's face. This isn't the look of, oh no, the monsters are catching me. This is the look of, holy shit, I'm in pain because I just got scratched.
They got him.
That's a pain look. That is definitely a pain look. So I get the feeling that these two shots are
see right there, like where he's
in
grappling.
chronological order.
Right there. Like, could you just imagine if the dude just clawed him right there, and then you get to the next part and you see it?
Just kind of clawed him right down,
Look,
boom. And then next thing you know,
the face is what kills me, because I have a feeling his face was transformed right there, and you just can't truly see it.
Yeah, because like you said, later on in the trailer, when we look at dude's face here, it looks like he's in monster form right there, or at least changing from monster form back into human form. If you look really close at this guy's face here, that's not a normal. That's not the it's hard to see, but you can kind of see it a little bit. That's not his normal human face. That looks like very similar to how Smiley looked when he was dead, and his face was kind of stuck in monster form. It looks a little similar to that. So yeah,
It's
I think
that
this
weird
is, I think
in-between stage where they're slightly human but still monster. I don't know what stage we call that.
Luckily, we have all
mid-transformation, maybe.
Yeah, we got all 4 stages of the transformation. I made sure to save those stills because one, they're some of my favorite stills from season 2, but even more so, it kind of showcases the different stages of transformation that these monsters go through when they do change. And just let me find that up here a little bit more. Of course, we lost Smiley, the greatest monster on the TV series, although it looks like a lot of these monsters are stepping up to be just as cool and creepy as Smiley in some ways. But Smiley, of course, is the OG, will always be the OG, the one true monster overlord. So we got to keep on to, you got to keep these shots here. And here, of course, human form. Then we see him kind of half transformed a little bit like that. And then, boom, kind of full-on monster form. So he goes through these different stages. So I get the feeling that's what's going on in the trailer, where we're seeing him maybe revert from monster form back into human form, and we're kind of catching his face where it's in like a half transformation phase similar to this. But, again, it's hard to tell because it's not a great shot, but it just does not look like a normal human face right there.
Okay, the shot doesn't do it justice, guys. You've got to slow-mo it, and I promise you,
you really got to slow-mo it. Yeah, you again, no shot will do it justice. It's something you have, like, what next time you guys watch the trailer, if you guys have the capability of watching the trailer in slow-mo, definitely do that, because then it stands out way, way more, and you guys will know exactly what we're talking about. But yeah, if you have a chance, watch the trailer on as slow-mo as you can possibly find, and it'll stand out to you, I promise. That's not a normal human face. I would put money on it. But
yeah, no, I was late to the party. I peeped that today. I'm like, Scarlett, did you see that? She's like, yes, Dana. Where have you been? I was like, I just noticed it today. I was like, sorry, I was late.
Yeah. And it's interesting to see all 4 of these monsters too, because we have seen all 4 of these monsters. Again, I know the nurse monster hides very well behind the mechanic here, but we do spot her every once in a while. And there she is, creepy Nurse Ratched will be returning. Haven't seen this monster again yet, the kind of waitress monster. Hoping to see her again.
We haven't seen the bride either in a long time.
No, yeah, I believe we haven't seen. I believe the last time we saw the bride was in this episode right here when Elgin gets stabbed, and or when Ellis gets stabbed, and Elgin is grabbing the van to bring it along to the front of Colony House so they can take Ellis to the clinic. I'm pretty sure that's the last episode that we saw the bride in. But there's the mechanic monster right there, who is also present in the barn. I know a lot of people were confused because we see that kind of yoked, jacked-like mechanic in episode 6 of season 2. One of the mechanics that's present when Smiley dies, but this is a different mechanic. That mechanic had short sleeves and he was much more jacked. This is a different mechanic that wears a general overall coverall like this. Hopefully we see Granny again. I really want to see me some Granny again. We haven't seen her in quite a while. Here we see them all. We see Granny, the mechanic monster, the waitress monster, and there's the good old nurse here. And this is when you kind of caught Scarlet, where she was kind of seemingly humming London Bridge is Falling Down. It sounds a lot like it, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's our monsters, guys. Yeah,
Hey,
our
Smiley.
monsters. I know, Smiley! Smiley may be gone from the show, but like I said, he will never be gone from our streams. Smiley will always be present and accounted for on our live streams. But we do have Cowboy Monster to look forward to now as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing some more from Cowboy Monster.
Yes, is he going to be the voice on the radio? That'd be freaking wild.
That was we were discussing that the other night. And if you kind of slow it down and listen to the voice of the Cowboy Monster, and you listen to the voice that was coming over the radio at the end of season 1 that Jim heard, they don't sound exactly the same, but they definitely have similar tones to them. Maybe it's because one is coming over a radio and the other is a little bit more of a clear, distinct audio. But they kind of sound a little bit similar. That maybe it was the Cowboy Monster on the other end of that radio.
Mm-hmm. That's slow talk.
Yeah. And that southern drawl. It had a little bit of a southern drawl to it too. Not very pronounced, but if you listen to the voice that came over the radio that Jim heard, it definitely sounded like it had a little bit of a southern drawl to it. A little bit of southern
Because we
twang.
still think it could possibly be two voices. I know that theory's still out there. So it could be the cowboy interfered. He could have been the one that intercepted somehow.
Could be. Could very well be. Here we get another nice shot of the nurse. And of course, we see the nurse when she and all the other monsters come up to Randall when he's in the RV. Look at Granny.
I love that. I know.
I love Granny
They
monsters.
got bored of Randall. They were like, "You're no fun."
Tapping. You just see her tapping on the window, like, "Come on out, kids. Okay."
Yeah.
Granny with her Goopalina.
Absolutely creepy. This dude's so creepy. I really want to see this guy again. He almost looks like a groom or almost like a magician. Like you see the coat that he's wearing. It almost looks like those kind of coats that magicians wore back in like the 20s. Like I want to see this guy again. Where the fuck's this guy hiding?
I thought he might be the groom.
He could be, yeah. He very well could be the groom to the bride. Yeah, it certainly would fit. I mean, they almost look like those two kind of, those two figures you stick on top of the cake for the bride and groom. It looks just like that almost. So yeah, maybe this is the bride. Maybe this is the groom to the bride. Yeah, I want to see this guy again. I don't think we've seen him since. But
or maybe he's the guy who owns the dummy.
Maybe. Could be. Yeah, maybe he's the ventriloquist. It would kind of, a suit like that would kind of fit with a profession like that in some ways. So maybe. But yeah, I know, right? Such a weird bunch to be rolling together. I know. You see these four together, it's like, wow, the fuck did you four meet? Like, where did you guys hook up? It's just such a weird crew. He just wants to seat you at your table. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe he's just a maitre d', as some cases. He's just waiting on some new customers to sit down at his table. Good
Crazy
stuff.
bad. Well, you have to come to the table first. You have to play first.
Yeah, and again, I love how the actors that they find for these monsters. They're so creepy looking. I know the casting call that they put out. It says that they're looking for background actors with distinct facial features, and I mean the actors that they are finding, that they are casting, are so freaking good to play these monsters. And we got Teflon TV in the building. What is up? The Dawn has to wake up early, so peace out. No gatekeeping like other fandoms. Absolutely not. Hell no. Although I did last year. Offer is still open for anyone on the panel to come on the channel. Peace and stay sexy. Absolutely. I would love to. I would absolutely love to.
We always talk girl.
Yes.
Did I get cut out?
No, you're here. You're
I
with
have
us.
I have I have a bad internet connection tonight. Sorry, but no, I wanted to give a nice shout out to Teflon TV for hanging for popping into the chat. Thank you so much. It looks like Tony's getting close to hitting 100,000 subscribers, which is a monumental achievement. So congrats, man. That's great. The 100K is nothing small. It looks like he's getting closer and closer. But yeah, thank you for hopping into the chat tonight. And yeah, I will definitely hit you up. I'd love to hop on, and I'd love to have you on here sometime too as well. You are most welcome, my friend. Most welcome. And have a good night. Hope everybody is having a swell weekend on this fine Sunday night. And I know Sunday nights are tough, so I very much appreciate everybody who has taken the time to kind of come out and hang out with us for a little bit here, share your thoughts and theories and discussions. This fandom really is one of the best fandoms I've ever been a part. If anyone knows, it's definitely Tony coming from the A Song of Ice and Fire fandoms like we do. The A Song of Ice and Fire fandom, as much as I love it, and I absolutely love it, you can see a good degree of kind of vitriol every once in a while. Every once in a while, you can see things get a little nasty on the A Song of Ice and Fire side of things. But I must say, the From community has been one of the most welcoming communities I've ever freaking seen. Like, this is true fandom. This is the kind of fandom that you really want to develop around a show that we all really love. Because again, love A Song of Ice and Fire, love House of the Dragon, but some of the fans of House of the Dragon can get kind of nasty at times. But I don't really see any of that happening here with the From fandom, and I love that so much. It seems like everybody that's here hanging out on all of the From channels, everybody's having fun, everybody's having a good time. We're all trying to kind of solve this weird, crazy mystery collectively together as a whole. And that's the kind of things that make fandoms great. And that's why we love hearing from everybody in the chat. Like, we love doing these streams because we want to know what you guys think. What thoughts and theories do you guys have? We want you guys to be just as much a part of the show as we are. And I really just want to give a big thank you to everybody that makes up the From fandom, because it really is a little bit different from a lot of the other fandoms I've been a part of, whether it's comic books, whether it's A Song of Ice and Fire. A lot of the other fandoms, you know, sometimes there's always a degree of nastiness, but I really don't see much of any of that happening here in the From community. So just want to tip my hat to everybody. You guys have been so freaking cool, and this has definitely been the coolest fandom that I've ever been a part of, personally. You guys are awesome. Absolutely awesome. So thank you for that. Just wanted to say that. And while I'm getting sentimental, I guess there is one quick thing I also did want to say. If there are any Lord of the Ring fans in the chat, unfortunately, today is a very, very sad day for Lord of the Rings fans, as unfortunately we have lost someone very near and dear to us, certainly very near and dear to me, because this person is not my favorite Lord of the Rings book character, but this is definitely my favorite Lord of the Rings character in the movies. I feel like this was the best casting for any of the Lord of the Rings characters in the movies. And unfortunately today, we lost Bernard Hill, who played none other than King Theoden. So in honor of King Theoden's memory, we play this. Rest in peace. R.I.P. to King Theoden. Bernard Hill, one of the most phenomenal actors of our generation, unfortunately passed away today. And he will always be remembered. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. And again, I love the books. I love the movies. I love both of them probably almost equally as much. But King Theoden is definitely my favorite movie character. In terms of castings, he's the perfect casting for King Theoden. He brings that character to life in so many ways. It's the perfect casting in that entire series, as far as I'm concerned. Viggo Mortensen as Aragorn is a very, very close second to as perfect a casting as King Theoden is. But yes, R.I.P. to King Theoden. He rides to the gates of the Hornburg for the last time. Great character. Great character indeed. And I see we got some Lord of the Rings fans in the chat. That is awesome to see. And yes, R.I.P. to the Kang. We bow our heads, good sir. We bow our heads.
R.I.P.
Good stuff.
Man, that was really
That was a
it's
great
sad,
tribute.
but then you playing that was really sad. Like it really,
It
you got me
sucks,
in the
man.
feels, man. That was
It hit
hard.
me in the feels as well. As soon as I saw that this morning, when I not this morning, I saw it this afternoon actually when I was on my lunch break. Um, yeah, it's just, man, he's a great actor, and again, definitely my favorite character from the movies. I love the Lord of the Rings movies. They're a great adaptation. They really capture the spirit of Tolkien, even though they make some changes and leave some characters out. Those movies really capture the essence and the spirit of what Tolkien was going for, even with the
Mhm.
changes, and none more so than King Theoden and Bernard Hill as King Theoden. So, R.I.P. my friend. R.I.P. But yes, with that, I think we are going to close it down here as well. It is Sunday evening, and I'm sure some of you have to get ready for work tomorrow, like I do myself as well. But again, I want to give a huge thank you to everybody, not only who came out tonight to hang out with us, but everybody who comes out every night, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching this on the replay. I can't thank each and every one of you enough for making this fandom what it is. It really is all thanks to all of you guys in the chat, in the comment sections of this channel and all of the From channels. You guys really make this fandom what it is. And I cannot thank each and every one of you enough. You guys have been so welcoming, whether it's to people who have been here from day one or whether it's to people who are just coming into the fandom now. You guys have been so welcoming. Everybody who comes into this chat is more than welcome. We love hearing you guys share your thoughts and theories and everything. It really has just been overall a very pleasant and positive fandom where we don't really always get that in some other fandoms. So again, I just really want to thank everybody. And I also want to thank all my awesome co-hosts who have been helping me on these streams for these last few years as well. Scarlett, Dana, Aldous, Snug, Ravener, Kayla, all of you guys. Really appreciate everybody hanging out with us and making these streams what they are. Because I said, without all of you guys in the chat and everybody else, all of my co-hosts up here on the panel, none of these streams would be possible. It's all you guys in the chat are definitely the lifeblood of these streams. So again, can't thank each and every one of you enough. You guys are the absolute best. And we are going to continue to keep that hype alive. We have From Season 3 coming this fall, and we will continue to do some Fromville Hour streams at least once a week. We usually try to go live every Sunday around 10 p.m. Eastern, so we're going to try and keep that time slot for as much as we possibly can at least. So we will definitely be live again next week, diving into all things from Season 3, diving into the trailer and beyond. And of course, we also have House of the Dragon Season 2 just around the corner, which is phenomenal. I cannot wait to dive into the second season of House of the Dragon. This one is real. I have a feeling the season will be better than season 1. No more time jumps, no more 30 years getting jammed into a single season. It is just the war from here on out, just the Dance of the Dragons, and it is going to get bloody, and it's going to get bloody fast, if Blood and Cheese is any indication, coming within episode 1 or 2, it seems like. So we are going to be diving headfirst into all things House of the Dragon, and then as soon as House of the Dragon ends, From Season 3 will be airing a few weeks right after that as well. So we got some awesome shows to look forward to here on the channel. I know The Boys Season 4 is getting ready to drop as well. We'll probably do a few streams on that, and any of the other shows that end up popping up in between now and then. But again, big thank you to each and every one of you for joining us. And no, you guys set the tone. I mean, you guys in the chat make these streams what they are. Like I say all the time, I'm nobody. I'm just a fan. I am nobody. I'm just the dude playing the dude disguised as another dude. I am nobody. You guys are in the chat are really the ones who make these streams as special as they are. So I really can't thank each and every one of you enough. You guys are the best. But I hope everybody is enjoying their weekend. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening before Monday comes around and we all kind of got to trudge on and get to work, the pesky thing called work. But hopefully, again, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy your Sunday night, everybody. Stay safe and stay warm out there. And until next time, we will see you right here on the channel. If you guys have not already, definitely subscribe to Scarlet Fever's channel and to Dana Marie's channel. Dana Marie is actually going to be launching her very first live stream coming up next month, and we are going to try and make that as fun as an event as we can, and we will definitely be promoting it a much heavier when we get a little closer to it. But if you guys haven't already, definitely subscribe to Scarlet and Dana's channels. And until next time, everybody, again, big thank you, and we will see all of you guys on the next one. Bow.
You said this place couldn't break you. That's what she said. Let's see.
You're so strong. You're so strong. Just no. I know. It's all just a dream.
What if all this was designed just to see how we react?
What if this place is trying to torture me?
What if the people these monsters are killing, what if they're all in on it?
What if this is all some kind of fucked up experiment?
What if the answers are out there, maybe we just didn't go out far enough?